Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial by Shayna's Home DIY and Crafts. If you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. On this channel, I do a lot of home DIY projects and different type of crafting. In today's DIY project, I'm going to be showing you how I created these beautiful fall home decor with items from the Dollar Tree. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please go ahead and do so. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be the first to get my next upload. I'm going to be repurposing these candle holders, and I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 coats of spray paint in the color of black. I'm also going to repurpose these cylinder vases. I'm going to be using contact paper and some wooden skewers. I'm also going to be using my hot glue gun along with my scissors. So now let's get started. I'm starting out by using my square to measure 2 inches on my contact paper. Then I'm going to use my square and draw a straight line. Once I'm done drawing the line, I'm going to go ahead with my scissors and I'm going to make my cut. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat the same step until I achieve 4 pieces of contact paper cut by 2 inches wide. Now that I achieve my 4 pieces of contact paper, I'm going to peel the backing off and wrap it to the bottom of my vase. And I'm going to do so to all 4 vases. Once I was done wrapping the contact paper around the vases, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start attaching my skewers. Now what I'm doing here, guys, I'm staggering the skewers. I have no true measurement. I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm just using my hot glue to hold the skewers in place on the vase. While I was placing the skewer on the vase kept rolling, so I went for an old t-shirt to place the vase on it. This way it will keep the vase in place. And this is what the first vase looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat the same step to the second vase. Now it's time to do the taller cylinder vase. So I decided on adding a second layer on the top part of the cylinder vases, but I did not like how it looks, so I ended up took it off and redid it. I did not have that on camera, but you'll see it in the end product. The skewers that I'm using for the taller vase are longer, so I'm going to cut them down. Then I'm going to use my sandpaper at 100 grit to smooth the edging. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the same method as I use on the shorter vases to attach the skewer. Like I said before, I have no true measurement. I'm just going along and staggering the skewers, some long, some short, and I'm just eyeballing it. Now I have completed all 4 vases. Now it's time to attach the vases to the candle holders. But before I do so, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean all 4 vases to remove any residue that's on the vase. In today's video, I'm going to be using my hot glue to attach the candle holders to the vases. However, if you decided on making this candle holder, make sure you use the E6000 glue or the Gorilla Glue for a stronger hold. I'm definitely going to be repurposing these items, and that's my reason for using only hot glue. And this is what my candle holder turns out to look like. If you remember, I mentioned in the video that I removed the top layer of the contact paper from the vase because I like it best this way. Now we're on to DIY number 2. This small wooden crate and wooden leaf is from the Dollartree. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using my Minwax in the color of dark walnut to stain the crate and the leaf. I'm using a piece of old t-shirt to do so. Also, if you decide on doing this project, make sure you wear gloves while staining your leaf and your crate. Once I was done staining the leaf and the crate, I leave it out to dry for a few hours. And this is what it looks like after being dry. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be placing my corn and my pumpkins inside of the crate. I'm going to be using some raffia to give it a more farmhouse look. I'm going to be adding a little bit of greenery to give it a little bit more details and style. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot glue my scarecrow to the top part of the leaf. Once I was done hot gluing the scarecrow to the top of the leaf, I went ahead and gave it a haircut. And this is what my farmer's market turns out to look like. Guys, I try to write 25 cents on the market, but this is what it turns out to look like. I wanted to say 25 cents each, but that didn't happen. Anywho's, I think it turns out pretty good. But I gotta tell y'all something. I tried to stain over that paint, and it did not work. So here it is. It is what it is. And now we're on to DIY number 3. I pick up this tray from the Dollartree. I'm going to be using my hot glue gun and this piece of foam. I'm going to use my box cutter to cut the foam down until it fits inside of the tray. Then I'm going to go ahead and place my pumpkins on top of the foam. After adding the pumpkins to the tray, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start cutting down and add my greenery. I'm going to be adding some hot glue in the bottom of the tray to hold the foam in place. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adding some white flour. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some cream color flowers in between. I'm also going to be adding some white berries. And this is what my centerpiece turned out to look like. I love this. Guys, please put in the comment section which DIY is your favorite. Keep watching this video to the end. I'm going to be telling you which one was my favorite. And now we're on to DIY number 4. I used one of the pumpkins from the Dollar Tree to trace out on a foam board. Then I'm going to be using my upper barrel in the color of yellow to paint my pumpkin. I'm also going to be using my upper barrel paint in the color of nutmeg to paint the stem of my pumpkin. Now I'm going to trace out my second pumpkin. I use one of the table mat from the Dollar Tree to trace this pumpkin out on a foam board. Then I'm going to use the blade from my box cutter to cut it out. Guys, please do not do this. Use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife to do so. It was just way easier for me to do this, and this is why I use the razor blade. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut in the middle of my pumpkin. I wish I didn't take this step, but I already did. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use 100 grit sandpaper to smooth up the edge of the pumpkin. Then I'm going to apply my paint. Once I'm done painting the pumpkin, I'm going to set it aside to dry for a few hours. Now that both of my pumpkins are dry, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using my buffalo check ribbon to create a bow. Then I'm going to use my Nadical rope and I'm going to hot glue that around the edge of the pumpkin. I'm also going to install some of the Nadical rope to the stem of the pumpkin. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot glue my small bow to the stem of the pumpkin. I'm also going to be using some of the stencil from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the stencils to spell Hello Fall. If you guys have noticed, I'm not securing the letters because I want to make sure it all lined up in the end. Now I got everything even and straight, I'm starting to secure the letters. Guys, these stencils are the best. You gotta check it out. However, if you do not have stencil, you can always hand paint it on, or if you have a Cricut, then you could go for that. Now I'm going to hot glue the pumpkins onto each other. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot glue my Nadical rope around the edge of the pumpkin. Once I'm done hot gluing the rope around the edge of the pumpkin, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hot glue the pumpkins onto a piece of scrap wood. I also want the pumpkins to look a little off center, so I'm going to hot glue one side of the bottom to the scrap wood instead of doing the center of the pumpkin. I'm going to be using some Spanish moss to cover the piece of plywood. I'm going to be using my hot glue gun to keep the Spanish moss in place. And this is what my pumpkins turn out to look like. Please let me know which DIY was your favorite. My favorite was DIY number 1. I also like DIY number 3. Please type me a comment and let me know. I'll be waiting to hear from you. If you enjoy watching this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you can be the first to get my next upload. Also, make sure you share this video with your friends and family so they won't miss out. Now remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Until next time, be blessed.